Alright, so this player B's operational phase. The Aragonese, and yeah, excuse me, I got the hiccups. I'll try to keep it under control. Oh, excuse me. Now, the first thing to do with these forces, I think I've done it right, is gathered my forces. And I've signified them by turning them upside down. So these are the forces that I am gathering down down the coast here, and here at the Kingdom of Majorca. Now, how I activate them and move them will be coming up next, but these are the forces I think I'm going to go ahead and use. I'm going to finalize this, look around here to these Sicilians, and maybe some of these Tunis, but right now, these are the forces that I'm going to activate. We'll be back with more operations from the Aragonese. Oh, and another thing is, we're using a mercenary rule. If you don't use mercenaries, you got to roll to see if they mutiny. And also, uh, we got raiders. So the Aragonese got two different types of units that the French and Jew don't have. And I think my first target's going to be the low-hanging fruit down here. But how we get there is how we're going to find out in a little bit. Be right back. All right, we're back to continue with the Aragonese response. It's their first operation phase of the game. And as you can see, like I said earlier, I got these guys signified as ready to move. Now, the key thing here is how to get them. When you gather armies, you can't add more to them, but when they move, they can pick guys up. So I'm thinking about moving from here, picking these units up, moving here and picking these units up. Now I got to find out the capacity of my fleet here if I'm able to pick everybody up. But their target is Province County in nice little Marcella, or I guess that's it, Marcella or Marcel, a city on the coast. That's what I'm looking at. I got to go through some procedures. Feel a little bit better today with the back. I accidentally took double doses of steroids. Thought one dose was painkillers, but it wasn't. It was a steroid. I got double steroids, one from the doctor, one from the med stop. So I went back to the Walgreens, got me my painkillers, and I misread that. I thought it said two tablets. It only said one, twice a day, not two, once a day. So I don't know. So I was up, and I think the thing that was weird about that is, I mean, it didn't really mess me up too bad. It made me a little bit restless, but because I think it was a narcotic. I don't know what the name of those things are, but it gave me the hiccups. And I never get the hiccups. I've been having hiccups all night. I don't really I know how to stop them, but yeah, that's the only thing it did to me was give me the hiccups. Let's get on with some Mediterranean empires, not kingdoms. For some reason, I got kingdoms in my head. All right, we're looking this over. I thought about maybe doing a move here, but I don't know if I got the fleet capacity to do all that in this turn. So these guys here are not going to be forced up. I'm not going to get them into a force. So now what I have to do is I've got my units forced up. I got to find out uh, which one to activate first and what those operations are going to be. Let me study the rules, make sure everything's good on that, and we'll be right back. All right, we got more notes here about the mercenaries. It tells you if you don't use them, you got to roll because they may bail. I guess if they don't fight, they don't get paid. But it says this historical note's kind of interesting. This simulates and here you go again, the Almogavar mercenaries serving the King of Aragon. Historically, after the end of the war for Sicily, they were sent to the east to serve the Emperor of Byzantium against the Turks. So these mercenary units, and this is what you'll learn after you play the game. I should have got these guys more on the coast. I guess I still could do that, but I didn't even. Not even knowing what's going on, I fought in Sicily, kind of like they did historically. And I didn't read that. I didn't know nothing about that. I just looked around, and strategically, that's where I was. But yeah, Sicily was. They brought the mercenaries on over here, I guess, in their response. Now I'm not responding to Sicily. I'm responding up here. So could be what the difference is between my split off from history, but historically, yeah, I went for Sicily now. Historically, they responded. I'm not going to respond. I'm going for this county, so we'll see what's up with that. But we back. All right, then we'll look down here at movement. The land unit may only enter land areas, blah, 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 fleets, all that other stuff. Expends op points per table. Forces not have enough, they can't move. Land force may enter neutral land areas, however, movement constitutes an invasion. We don't need that. This is key. A force may drop off units at any time, but these units have then completed their action for the game turn. A force may pick up friendly units that have not yet been activated. Additional units may not be picked up in the initial area. That's the key thing here, is you can't pick them up in the initial area. Alright, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to roll for this unit down here. And the only reason I'm abandoning this area and not garrisoning it is because I don't see any threat from the France and Jew. I guess they could scoot straight on over and go for it. But I think they're going to have other problems. Let me see here. That might be a problem there. Oh, shoot. I need forces, though. That's leaving my whole coast unprotected. Maybe. Well, let's go for it. I have a nice force up here. That'll keep them busy. Yeah, let's go with my plan. Alright, rolling dice for this force here, Mercia. And this is the Anjou, so I'll get him a couple of these little, my closest thing to red and a white. And he's got himself a nice 6 operation points. Put him there. We'll expand 1 going here, picking up these units that haven't been activated. We'll expand 2 by going in this area, picking up these units that haven't been activated. And that is a nice force here in Barcelona. Or, oops, do I got another? Alright, let's see here real quick. Alright, leaving that open. Get that 1, 2, 6, 5, 4. So you still got 4 activation points left. Alright, now what I want to do now, I think, is roll for my fleet. And I think they're going to be able to pick these guys up, load them and everything else, and move them, and they can still drop them off. And when they get dropped off, they can still have another operations. We will look at the rules when we clean this table up real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright, we'll have to read through the rules. It's kind of goofy, but it does make sense, but you got to check it out. You got to make sure you check it out. They have things what's called raiding, but the raiders aren't essential to raiding. Mercenaries are central to raiding. So you need mercenaries to raid. Raiders do give you some kind of combat table. And I give you, they're counted as 2 units on if you use it as a raider combat. But that's something we'll have to check out when we get the combat going. Right now I don't want to worry about picking these guys up and getting them to their destination. That Aragonese force consists of raiders and levies. And here's my mercenaries down here in the lower right hand corner. And if they don't have combat, they got to roll to see if they disband. So I kind of should have put them when I deployed in my areas, but I didn't know what my plans are going to be. So there you go. Well, when to combat, they can combat against these guys, and I might have some modifiers, so there might have to be some attacks going on, but I've already gathered my forces. So next is going to be the Aragonese naval movement. We're going to check out the rules on that, and we'll be right back. Alright then, all I need is 3 of these fleets to transport all those units. 1 fleet can transport 2 units of any type. I had 6 units and 3 of those. So I'm going to keep this fleet here. They're still activated as a battle group. I could do something else with them. But yeah, right now I'm I'm just going to activate these guys. Now I'm going to this transport, but it's not going to be a transport operation. It's going to be a not a coastal raid either, because I have to have mercenary units, and I don't have no mercenary units with those guys. So let me go back here. Just skip the page. Hold on a second. All right, so I'm going to roll for my fleet's operational points. It says there's no ops needed to embark or disembark, so we're rolling for the fleet. The fleet has 6. Marker is on the 6. We will go ahead and expand points. Naval movement, 1 per area. So we are going to move 1, and it's only 1 area we're moving up here. And expand as a point. We got 5. Now, it says here, the player must expand 1 operational point to conduct the amphibious landing. So we're going down here to 4. And we're going to take all these fleets off of here and disembark my units. They're invading Providence County. And here we go. Now it says the player must then immediately conduct an action using the land units that made the amphibious landing. The action is conducted normally. So there you go. We're up to a combat, and we're going to see what goes on there, but there it is. We'll go ahead and activate the rest of these guys later with further operations, but yeah, that's all I got is 1 force. So when I turned around, we'll be back. Alright, then the Aragon fleet has just delivered the invading units, and we're going against what are those, levies? Well, first we got to roll for what is it, initiative, and then whoever wins the initiative decides if it's going to be a field battle or a raid combat table. So I guess the initiative combatant, or whoever has the initiative, determines what kind of combat it's going to be. Now I looked on this table, and the only thing is if the player A, the French and Jew player, wins the initiative, he's going to want to be a field battle, because their field armies and mercenary units count as 2 units. It don't say nothing about he won't get no advantage for his raiders. If the Aragon player wins the initiative, he'll pick the raid table because the raiders count as 2 units. So that's what's going on with that there. So we will get a couple dice here and roll for initiative. Blue being player A, French and Jew. Brown being Aragon. Oh, Aragon went off the board. We'll be right back. Alright, the Aragon player looking to beat off 1. Not too bad. And he could use his raid table, so it's looking good. And yeah, the Aragon player gets it. Now there are modifiers. And let me see down here real quick. Initiative. Players determine initiative. Both players determine the number of military advantage or ambush markers. Well, I guess I should have did that first. Piracy, trade, strap marker, and that is a coup de main. I don't think I could have used any of them anyway, so that's, we did that wrong. I should have picked those up, but there ain't none I could have used, so we did it right. Okay, both players remove markers expend, add 1, and then we roll the die. Player with the higher die roll is the initiative. Then determines the combat as a raid or field, so we're going to have us a raid because I got raiders in there. There you go. Headings will be mercenaries or strategy markers won't come into effect because we have none that apply to combat. Player cross references. Okay, looks pretty basic. Let me check this out real quick. We'll be right back. All right. Well, it looks like in this combat, the only person that gets to really attack is the phasing player. Defender don't get to do nothing except for the results. So raiders count as 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the raid table, we'll be looking here at the right here table. Raiders count as 2 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it'll be a nice little attack there. 1 die roll. And it is modified if it's got a king, if it's got a mercenary unit, or if you want to expand a stratagem marker. Piracy, player A, trade, Cootie Main. Let me look at that real quick. We'll be right back. Cootie Main and Siege Trade, when you use attacker only during a field battle, does not apply to this one. So, rolling 1 die under the raid combat table. We got a spinner. Comes out as a 2. And I think that's a no effect. NE. No effect, the combat ends. The attacking player may initiate another combat but must expend 2 additional operational points. Oh, you know what? We didn't expend an operational point. Alright, so 2 for that combat would go from 4. 3, we got 2. I will expend another 2 operational points to have another combat, so that takes me down to 0. So that's all this force will be able to do, but we'll have another combat. Do I want to make it a feat? Yeah, we'll do it a raid table again. That Cuda Main only gives me a apply 1 to the die roll modifier. Not really gonna do anything, I don't think. I'll get more units. Yeah, I'll get more units with the raid table. So we're going on the same table. Another die roll. He still gets a 2, no effects, and that does nothing. So in the first 9 years of the turn, each of these turns represent 9 years. The French and Jew took eastern Sicily, and the Aragon player bogged down with his attack. Can't do nothing. French held out. So there you go. It'll be an activation. These guys have all moved, so signify that by turning them sideways. And they're not grouped into a force, so we'll keep them this way. See if I can find some symmetric way of doing this. Yes, yes. There we go. Everybody's moved. We gotta get us another force. I think I'm gonna go get me some breakfast. So we will be back. Been staying pretty busy with my back. I'm doing good, staying active, but I'm still in some pain. Pain level about 2 or 3. But I'm on pain pills and everything, so hopefully I got a few more days to go. Just sit here, play some games, and kind of relax a little bit. If I could stop from doing chores around the house. Out in the yard, cleaning up dog do and all other stuff. But it says you're supposed to do some exercise, stretch and stuff, so we'll be back. Well, carrying on, I got another force to activate. And I'm looking over these rules again, and I don't think it's that strict on getting these forces together. I think it's the way, because it says during each player's operation phase, units forces may perform movement, blah 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 blah. It says a player begins an action by selecting 1 force. A player begins an action by selecting 1 force of friendly units. I mean, I think you can begin your action by just grabbing a force and going. I don't think you have to I think I was interpreting that wrong. I don't think you have to get your forces ready, and then I think if you see something that you want to do, you just gather a force. So we're going to do it that way. We'll turn all these guys back. Now the next force, though, that I do want to activate is this fleet. But I'm not seeing any way to pick him up and take him over here without him having an action against bad odds. These guys have already performed. It'd be 1 unit against 1 unit of conscripts, or whatever they're called, against some other conscripts. But what I'm thinking about is moving this fleet. And I got a nice fleet here. As a matter of fact, let's get these guys spread apart because they're no longer a force. And I got my coast open, but the best way to block it would be to move this fleet into a blocking action right here. There are only two of them. I mean, the odds would be against me if he combined all his fleets. But it'd be some kind of blocking action to protect my exposed underbelly. That's what I'm thinking about doing now. And as a matter of fact, looking back at the stack, there's 3 units there, so that's even better. So yeah, that'll work. So what we're going to do is activate this fleet off of the coast of Barcelona. And we're going to roll 2 dice for his ops value. He gets a 8. So we're going to take this little ops marker, put it on the 8. That's a pretty good one. So let me see here. Movement. Naval. 1 per area entered. We'll go 1, 2. I think I'm going to leave my boys here. Turn sideways to signify he's moved. 2 up points from 8, 7. He's got 6 left. I don't think they're going to do anything. Alright, now that might be it for the Aragon player. That's what we're looking like after the first 9 years of my simulated conflict with Mediterranean empires. Look over the board, look at some strategy, and I'll be back if I see anything else. Alright, well, upon further review, I got this big old army here. A bunch of armies, and they're not protecting cities. I can care less about uncitied territories. They don't mean nothing in this game. This does, so I think we might have some more forces being gathered. We'll be right back. Alright, we also got to think about the use it or lose it aspect of the mercenaries. So it might be worth it to go ahead and come across the border with a nice big attack instead of reinforcing my cities. So we might have some major fun coming up here. Let's go for broke, see what's up. Put the game to the test. We'll be back.